Hi, everybody. Welcome to Beginner Yoga. Happy New Year. My name is Joanne. I'm really happy to be back with you guys. Sorry we're still on video, but happy to be able to be here and offer these teachings, and hopefully you guys are enjoying them. So I always encourage feedback. If you have any feedback or suggestions or requests, please feel free to comment on any of the videos and just let me know. So I hope your year is off to a great start so far. So we're going to start in a comfortable seat. And if you're a beginner to the practice of yoga, you want to make sure that you're comfortable. So you can even use a chair if you need to. You don't have to sit on the floor. You want to make sure you can find length through the spine and freedom and ease as you sit up tall. So you don't want to have to round or anything like that. So I'm sitting up on a blanket, and what a blanket will do is lift and elevate the hips so that you can have a little more space for the spine to grow tall out of the hips, especially if you have tight hips. Mine are really flexible, so your seat might look much different than mine. You might be up here, and if that's the case, you might be rounded. So then elevate yourself so that you don't have to round. So finding a comfortable seat in easy pose. This is supposed to feel easy. And then we'll kind of ground ourselves from here. So you want to maybe lift the flesh from the sitting bones so you can feel those sitting bones grounding into whatever you're sitting on. And you want to feel the triangular base, so between the sitting bones and the pelvic bone in the front. So it's a nice sturdy triangle for you to rise up tall out of the spine. So one thing to avoid that I think is kind of a common thing is some people tend to overarch in the back. So you want to make sure you're not doing that. You don't want to jut your chest or your ribs forward. You just want to be in a nice, easy position, nice and tall. And then from here, we want to soften the shoulders down away from the ears. So we've got lots of space in the neck between the ears and the shoulders. We have a tendency to hold the shoulders up. I think most of us are pretty familiar with that, especially if you're on a computer or the phone. So soften the shoulders. Let's squeeze them up first. Let's hunch them up by the ears, create a little tension, and then pull them all the way back behind you as if you were trying to slide them behind you, and soften the shoulders. And then you can kind of tag a little weight into your elbows so that you've got that nice open space and you're not hunched up. Collarbone is nice and broad. Resting the hands either palms down or palms up, whatever you feels better for you. And then from there, we're going to close the eyes. So you also want to feel as if there's an imaginary string sort of lifting the crown of the head toward the sky as you soften and ground the shoulders and ground the hips. So we've got opposing energies, so grounding and lengthening at the same time. We're going to close the eyes again and just bring your attention within for a moment. It's good to always check in with your body at the beginning of the practice, just to notice how you're feeling. You're not trying to change anything. You're not judging anything. You're just observing. We'll begin to focus on the breath. So I'm going to do a little review of the breath for those who are just joining. So we use the 3-part breath in yoga. And basically what that means is we want to use the full body to breathe. I think as we get older and stressed out, we tend to breathe shallowly from the chest, especially if you're in a stressful situation that happens. So we want to think of a Buddha belly or like a baby. When a baby breathes, they don't have any shame about their belly, right? They just let it out. And that's what we want to do, big diaphragmatic breath. So that's one of the keys to the practice of yoga. So I really encourage you to work on that if it's new to you. So one way to do that is you can take your right hand to your belly, your lower belly, and you can bring your left hand to the rib cage. So you can kind of follow along with the breath. You're going to soften the shoulders, and I'll walk you through the 3-part breath. So as we inhale through the nose, you want to puff your belly out. So you really want to breathe into the belly. And then the breath moves this hand out to the side, so the ribs will separate east-west, so both sides move out. And And the third part of the breath will come into the chest, causing this collarbone or clavicle to rise a little bit. So you do that again. So the inhale is in, and then as you exhale through the nose, you reverse the wave. So the chest falls, ribs come together, and we draw the navel gently toward the spine. So we want to squeeze the navel a little bit at the bottom of your exhale, and that should automatically allow your belly to reinflate on the next breath. And this is just if you want to follow along. You don't have to use your hands. You can kind of close your eyes and feel into that breath work. Basically, it's a way to feel like you're breathing with the whole body. So it shouldn't feel constrained. I know I've taught this before and someone was like, I feel like I can't get the breath up. Then that means you're holding somewhere. So don't worry so much about what I'm saying as long as you feel that expansion and that openness, right? You don't have to worry about each part. So we're filling the lungs completely and we're emptying the lungs completely. And another nice thing to pay attention to if you're new to the breath work and new to the practice is to notice this slight pause at the top and the bottom of your inhale and your exhale. So there's a time where we shift, right? So there's that little brief pause, and it's nice to just notice that. And really the whole point of practicing yoga is to join the body and the mind so that you're not just in your head and you're not just in your body, you're aware. So you're present in the moment of what's happening in the body and the mind, and that's working together. So the more you practice, the more you'll find that you can take that off the mat as well. So it's a beautiful thing to do. Just creating and cultivating that awareness. So it's nice to notice those little things like that pause at the top and the bottom of the breath. And then it's also nice to notice when the mind starts to wander, you bring it back to the breath. Notice the posture. Notice if you're getting tight anywhere. Make sure the neck stays loose, the shoulders are down. As you move the breath through the whole body. And we're also trying to sort of create a little more length to each inhale and each exhale. So we're creating a longer breath cycle. So we're slowing the breath down. And what that does for our body and our stress level is it brings it down. So it helps our body come into a parasympathetic nervous system response rather than a sympathetic nervous response, which is the fight or flight response. So slowing the breath, lengthening the breath, just allows our body to completely de-stress from a nervous system perspective. And that will help us rest and digest. So that helps your metabolism. And it also reduces stress. So let's take a couple more breaths like that. Just close your eyes. You breathe with the whole body, or you can keep them open. Just keep the gaze soft. Thinking of expansion as you inhale. And just softening as you exhale, relaxing around that space. One more breath in. Good. On your exhale, we're going to drop the chin to the chest, stretching the back of the neck. Head is heavy forward. Take another breath here. Feeling the weight of the head. Give a nice stretch to the back of the neck and shoulders. And then we're going to use our breath as our guidepost. And again, if you're new to the practice, don't stress about this, but think about it as something to maybe work toward. As you inhale, you're going to bring one ear to the shoulder. We're inhaling and opening the circle. We're going to lift the chin to the sky gently. Be very gentle with the back of your neck. As you exhale, you're going to close the circle. So we try to let our breath guide our movement, and we inhale as we open. And we exhale as we close. So let's go one more time in that direction. Notice what happens if the shoulders hunch up. See if you can keep them grounded. And as always, if anything during the practice doesn't feel right for your body, don't do it. So you don't do anything that's painful. You might challenge yourself or feel a nice edge to your stretching or whatever, but we don't want to work in pain. So starting again with the chin forward, we'll inhale to the other direction. So we're reversing our circles, lifting the chin, exhale as you close the circle to the other side. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. One more time. Good. Inhale, take the head upright. Soften the shoulders. Take a breath in. As you exhale, just rotate your head to look over your shoulder. So keep the chin parallel to the floor, just turning the head. As far as you can comfortably, inhale, come to center. Exhale to the other side. And just noticing, one side might be a little more tight. That's normal. Inhale, center. Exhale, first side. Inhale, center. Exhale. Maybe you're getting a little more range of motion with each time. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, center. Exhale to the other side. Good. Inhale, center. And pause. We're going to retract our chin just a little bit, so make sure your head's not forward. Align the head above the spine. Retract the chin gently. Feel the back of the head sort of pull to the back of the room and up a little bit. So you want to pull back and up with the chin. Elongating the neck. Soften the shoulders. We're going to bring the hands by the side next to your hips, and we're going to shrug the shoulders. So squeeze them up, create a little tension by the ears, and roll them back. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale, back. Inhale, squeeze up. And exhale, back. Reverse your circles. Pull back, so kind of squeeze the shoulder blades behind you, up by the ears, and forward and down. Inhale, back. Exhale, down. One more time. And exhale. Awesome. Lower and soften the shoulders. We're going to walk our hands forward briefly. So whichever leg you have in front, pay attention to that. Walk your hands forward. And then relax the head. And then we're going to walk the hands toward the front foot side. So you're going to walk over there to stretch the opposite hip. Bow. Take a breath into your ribs. Soften the shoulders. Come back to center. Walk your hands back, sitting up. Switch the cross of your legs. So now the other leg is in front. It should probably feel a little bit weird because you probably don't normally sit like that. And then we'll sit up tall. We're going to inhale, sweep the arms up. Gather some energy, maybe connect the palms at the top. Exhale, press past your fingertips, keep the shoulders soft. And then this time, see if you can act as if you're moving through water. So a little resistance. Inhale up. Engaging the muscles of the arms. Keep the shoulders soft. Exhale. Resisting just a little bit. Shoulders still relaxed. Good. One more time. Up. Big breath in. Maybe connect. Exhale. Release. Good. Walk your hands in front. And then we'll walk to the front foot side again, stretching the other hip, bow. Deep breath. One more breath here. And walk back to center. Take it back. Good. Sitting up. Let's shrug the shoulders here one more time. Up by the ears and down the back to open the chest. Inhale, stretch up, resist. Connect the hands at the top. Pull the hands up. Keep the shoulders soft. So don't come up here. Keep the shoulders nice and grounded. The other thing you want to be careful of is that the ribs don't jump forward. Keep them contained so we're still tall in the spine. We're not arching in the lower back. Pull the pinkies back. Feel that stretch in the front of your chest. Neck is loose. Breathe in. As you exhale, you're going to flip the palms to face you and pull your shoulder blades behind you as far as you can and pull your hands toward the screen as far as you can. Pulling apart. Feel that stretch in the shoulders. Maybe drop the chin to the chest. Inhale, stretch up. Don't overarch. Soft shoulders, pinkies back. Exhale, round. Pull apart. Should feel really nice in the shoulder blades and the neck. Inhale up. And exhale, round. Inhale up. Contain your ribs, soften your shoulders, pull your pinkies back. Exhale, release the arms, resist a little bit. One more shoulder shrug here, squeeze up and back. Excellent. And then we're going to come into a tabletop position onto your hands and your knees. So I'm going to set this blanket aside. And I have a smaller blanket I'm going to use for my knees, and you're welcome to do that. So I encourage you to use props if you need. You might want to grab some blocks, or you can use whatever you have handy at the house, like maybe some books or, I don't know, blocks, whatever you've got, cushions, props, blankets, all that stuff. So coming onto all fours, and you may not need a cushion for your knees, just depends. You're going to brighten your fingers on the mat. So you're going to spread the fingers apart as wide as possible. You want the middle finger pointing forward, and you really want to press into the thumb and index side as well, because that tends to cup. So we want to press that into the floor so that we're spreading the weight evenly across the full surface of the hand. The tops of the feet are on the mat, and my knees should be directly underneath my hip points. I'm going to rotate the inside of my elbow to the front part of the mat and micro bend the joint so I'm not locking the elbow. So that brings the shoulder blades into the back. My neck is long, and I'm engaging my core. I'm drawing my navel up a little bit, so I'm not just hanging out and sagging in my back. I'm nice and firm in my core. So from here, we're going to create a little bit of heat. We're going to tuck the toes under. If this doesn't feel right for you, you can skip it. As always, everything's optional. We're going to lift the knees and just hover here for a moment. So building a little bit of heat. Keep the neck long. Keep breathing. So you should feel your belly a little bit fired up. Activating the core muscles. Keep the neck long. Elbows are not locked, but they're pretty straight. One more breath here. Good, release the knees. Uncurl the toes. Take your knees behind you just a little bit so that they're a little bit behind your hip point now. We're going to come into downward dog next. So insides of the elbows rotate forward, very important, and your hands are shoulder width apart, or a little wider if you're super tight, that's fine. So open the shoulders, open the eyes of the elbows forward, tuck your toes here, and there's no rush to straighten the legs. So we're gonna peel our hips up nice and slow, keep the knees bent, and you're relaxing your head between your arms. And then you're gonna pedal your feet. So walk your dog out, one leg at a time, feeling the stretch through the back of the whole leg. Keep breathing as you move. And if this is too much for you, you can always skip it. You can also modify your downward dog with fists if it's too much on the wrists this way. Or you can use like gym claws or something like that if you need. Paddle the feet. So my head is relaxed. It's almost as if my chest is pulling through my arms. My hips are lifted toward the sky. I'm paddling the feet. Good. So we'll send the hips up high, relax the heels down. Your feet are hip distance apart. Take a breath. So inverted V here, really. And you should feel comfortable in this pose. It's a position of rest. So if you need a break anytime, please take one. And then from here, we're going to walk ourselves up. So take a nice slow stroll, noticing the contact of your feet as you move to the front of the mat. And then when you get to the front, you're going to measure about 2 fists between your feet. So that should be about a hip distance apart. And you want to bend your knees as much as you need so the hands can be next to the feet on the floor. Tuck your forehead toward your shins. Shake your head out a little yes and no, letting go of any tension in the back of the head and the neck. Just let it fall into the floor. Deep breath in and out. From here, we're going to come into a flat back position. So I'm going to bring my hands to my thighs. You might be in a different position, that's fine. And then we're going to lengthen the spine parallel to the floor. So again, the knees can be soft here. They don't have to be straight. We're lengthening, and then we're going to fold. Again, bend the knees. Bring the hands down, tuck the forehead. We're going to inhale, come up again. Lengthen your spine. Exhale as you melt down. So each time, inhale one more time. Up. Each time you're in your forward fold, maybe you can start to straighten the legs as the body warms up. No rush to get there. You might be really bent. That's totally fine. So listen to where you are. Just pay attention. From here, I'm going to dangle my arms. We're going to let the upper body relax. Just hang out like a rag doll. Find even weight on all 4 corners of both feet. And then I'm going to tuck my tailbone under and unfurl. I'm going to keep my body passive in the top. So letting everything hang, chin tucks. I'm unfurling myself. Bring your shoulders up when you get to the top. Open the chest. And we're stacking now in mountain pose. So my head is above my shoulders, above my hips, above my heels. So one thing you want to pay real close attention to here in your mountain pose is the pelvic bowl. So we don't want to arch and we don't want to over tuck. We want to be neutral. So that requires a little engagement in the core, strong heavy suitcases in the hands to keep the shoulders away from the ears. And we're lifting our quadricep muscle away from our knee just a little bit. So you're actively engaging the leg. The feet are soft. The chin is parallel to the floor. That imaginary string is lifting you up by the crown of the head. So it may seem like there's not much happening here, but there's a lot going on. So I encourage you to explore that and pay attention to everything. Deep breath in and out. And then we're going to take the hands and reach them behind you. So when you do that, don't arch in the spine. So keep that nice neutral pelvis. Just reach the arms back to stretch the chest. Inhale, stretch up tall. We're going to catch one wrist in the hand and reach up and over. So you're going to rainbow the arms to one side. We don't want to round here. We're opening through the side body. So pulling out. Inhale as you come through center, switch the grasp and reach up and over. So think of kind of like a shooting star. We don't want to crunch too much. We're just lengthening and stretching through the side body. Keeping the chest open. Good. Inhale, stretch up tall. Let's exhale, take the hands to the heart in prayer pose. I'll come back to the front of the mat. And then we're going to inhale, reach up again. Reach the arms behind you. Maybe touch the hands at the top, and exhale as you swan dive with a flat back over the legs, bending your knees, tuck the forehead. Empty your lungs. Inhale as you come up halfway. And exhale as you fold again. From here, you're going to take a giant step back with your left leg, whichever leg you want. We're going to drop the back knee and uncurl the toes. This is a right angle, knee over heel. Scissor your legs toward the midline to find a little lift in the core and strengthen the core. So you're not dumping, we're lifting. Still stretching that back hip flexor. And then inhale, take the arms up, keep the shoulders soft. So feet are nice and active on the floor. You're kind of scissoring the legs toward the middle. Soft shoulders. Deep breath. One more breath here. And let's exhale. We're going to take the hands to the heart in prayer pose. Inhale as you grow tall. And then exhale, turn toward the front knee side. So you're going to turn your torso in a little easy twist and open the arms out wide. Imagine you're holding up a wall. So engage all the way to the hands and the fingers. Don't just like hang out. Really activate here. So we're twisting. Take a deep breath. Notice that my shoulders stay above my hips. I'm not leaning forward or anything like that. Take one more breath here. Holding up that wall. Good. Use your inhale to bring the arms up and around. Come back to middle. Exhale, float the hands down to frame the foot. So now we're in a lunge here. We're going to walk our hands back and draw the front toe toward the chest. So you're pulling this legs hip back to the back of the mat. You can use blocks here if you want. I'm going to come onto my fingertips and give myself a little space. As I pull this leg back, I'm breathing into this front hamstring, the whole leg. And you want to be able to breathe deeply in your poses so that you can work with the breath. So the breath is going to move you deeper into a posture. If you're holding and resisting in your breath, then you're going to be resisting in your body as well. So you want to make sure the breath stays smooth and easy. Breathe in. Good. As you exhale, walk your hands forward and plant the foot. I'm going to tuck my back toes under and lift the knee. And then I'm going to lift my hips high so I have room to bring this front foot back to come to downward dog. From your downward dog, we're going to inhale into a plank pose. To do that, I'm just going to shift my feet forward and roll my shoulders so they come above my wrists. And then I'm going to lower my hips. So I'm spiking a little energy into my heels. Your shoulders are above the wrists, so you're nice and stacked in your bones. My core is engaged. I'm going to breathe in, and then I'm going to drop my knees right where they are. So notice they're behind my hips a little bit. And then I'm going to plant my chest between my hands as I come down to awkward S pose. So I'm going to keep my elbows close to my ribs as I lower down. Engage your core as you come down. Awkward S pose. So another way to reach this position, if you found that too difficult, is to come all the way to your belly. My hands are right next to my chest. And then I'm going to tuck my toes and inch my knees up and lift my hips. Just another way to get there. And then we're going to let the legs come down again, tops of the feet to the floor. And I'm going to inhale for low cobra. So low cobra, you want your hands to be right next to your chest. Your tops of your feet are pressing to the floor and glued. I tilt my tailbone toward my heels slightly. And I lift. And I'm using my back, not my hands. I'm not powering up. So another way to test that is to lift the hands. So my shoulders are down the back. My elbows are close. And they're pulling toward the floor behind me. My neck is long and loose, and I'm looking out in front of me. So this should not hurt the neck or the low back. Breathe into your belly one more time. Release down. Bring the chin down. Hands next to the chest. Good, and then we're just gonna push back into child's pose here, stretching the back. Allow the forehead to relax, soften the shoulders. Inhale back up to all fours. Tuck your toes, and let's take it up to downward dog again. So from here, I'm gonna breathe. I'm gonna bend my knees. I'm gonna gaze past my hands, and I'm gonna try to bring my right foot through. Now, you might get here, and that's fine. So if that happens, you can just reach back and pull the leg through. It's nice to try if you're feeling comfortable, bending the knee, and maybe use your core to lift the leg all the way through if that works for you. So, and I apologize because we just did the wrong side. Come back. Bend the knees. I usually start on the other side. I don't know why I didn't get this one before. And then bring the other foot through. So we're going to have the left foot. If you started with that back, that should be forward. Make sure you're doing the other side. Drop the back knee, uncurl the toes. Again, you're going to find that scissor action with the leg, and then come up, maybe start here. Scissor the leg so you're lifting up through the torso, adding the arms as you're ready. Firm footing, soft shoulders. This back leg is your variable. You want to keep this constant, so this can go further back if you want more stretch, or closer if you're super tight. Good, so take your hands to your chest. Breathe in as you grow tall. As you exhale, you're going to turn the torso to the front leg side, and again, open the arms out to hold up a wall. You want to breathe nice and deep in your twist. Good, inhale, come back to center, reach the arms up. Exhale, float the hands down. We'll frame the front leg. And we're going to walk it back again. Draw the toes toward the face. As you walk your hands back, pulling that front leg's hip to the back of the mat. Open the chest. Breathing into this hamstring nice and deep. Take another breath in. And we'll exhale, come forward. Plant the foot, plant the hands. Good, tuck your back toes under and lift the knee. This time we're gonna rock on the back foot a bit, and then we're gonna step up, forward fold. Coming back to your forward bend. Just notice where you are. Shake out your head maybe. And then let's roll up. Coming to mountain pose, standing at the top of the mat. Good, and then we're going to do another round. Inhale, reach back. Exhale, swan dive as you empty your lungs. Hands plant. Inhale, come into the flat back position again. Exhale, fold. Then step your right leg back, or step one leg back. Pivot your back foot down and check heel to arch alignment. We're going to ground both feet. You're going to power up as you reverse the cartwheel up for warrior two. So we'll go over this a little detailed as well. So heel to arch alignment or heel to heel. Back foot's perpendicular to the front foot. Hips face the long edge of the mat. I'm sinking into this quad. Make sure the knee does not go past the heel. You want to keep that knee also opening so you can see your big toe. Shoulders above hips. Add the arms. Soften the shoulders. Pull the fingers apart as far as you can. And then you're going to turn the gaze to the front hand. Breathe. You can also turn the palms up if that feels better on your shoulders. And if you need to, reduce the arms in a pose, you can leave them out. So I encourage you to listen to your body. Never work in pain, but challenge yourself. So you're probably stronger than you think. We can have a little sensation of discomfort, but we don't want to be in pain. So know where your edge is. Breathe in. Good, lower the arms, exhale, straighten that leg. We're gonna scooch this back foot up a little bit and turn it, the toes up just a little bit. Hips still face the long edge of the mat. Add the arms again, soften the shoulders. Now we're nice and firm on both feet. You're gonna gaze to your front hand. And then we're gonna take the hips and kind of bump them to the back of the mat, but I don't want you to turn. I want you to keep your hips in this plane. So we're just sliding them that direction, away from the front arm that you're gazing toward. And then you're gonna breathe in as you grow tall. And then as you exhale, you're gonna reach as far as you can. Reach, reach, reach until you can't reach anymore without shifting the hips. So keep the reach long, keep your body nice and flat in this plane. Reach, 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 and then just let the front hand fall and land anywhere on the leg. You don't have to reach the floor. The top arm will stack above the bottom arm and open the chest. So maybe you're here, but maybe not. It doesn't matter. The point of this is we're engaging both feet and we're stretching both sides of our torso. I want you to see if you can find length through the side as well, so we're not crunching through the side. We're also lifting this pose with the top arm. You're welcome to take that out of the equation, but we're still lifting with the side of the body. So we're not leaning here, we're open. Gaze can be up toward the screen or toward the floor. Just don't drop the head. Keep the neck and the spine in a nice line. Keeping attention in the back foot as well. Take one more breath here. Good, inhale. As you exhale, take that top arm in a big circle behind you. Turn your torso over the front, bend the front knee. Plant the hands, slide your back foot. And then we're gonna step back to downward dog. Maybe pedal the feet. Good, and then we'll inhale, plank position again. Exhale, knees, chest, and chin come down. Inhale for low cobra. Release your hands and chest. Exhale, push back to child's pose. Inhale back to all fours. Good, tuck your toes, downward dog. From here, bending your knees, gaze forward. We're gonna step the right leg up if you started on the left. So we're switching sides now and pivot the back foot down. So I'm gonna turn around so I don't have my back to you, but you don't need to do that obviously. So pivoting the back foot down and then reverse your cartwheel up for warrior two on this side, adjusting your stance as you need. Just move this out of the way. So again, this knee stays above the heel. You should see your big toe, so you're opening that knee out. Engage the outer edge of the back foot. Send the arms out when you're ready. Soft shoulders. Maybe the palms turn up. Maybe they stay down. Pull the fingers apart. Soften the shoulders. Gaze to the front hand. Breathe. Warrior two. So there's a lot going on here. Thinking about rotating this thigh open again. Shoulders above the hips, gaze is long. And we're not dumping into the back again either. So think about containing the torso here, engaging a little bit in the core muscles, protecting the low back. One more breath. Good, lower the arms and straighten that leg. And then we're gonna slide that back foot up a little bit of a shorter stance for triangle. Angle the toes up slightly. Hips are still facing the long edge of the mat. Add the arms, soften the shoulders. We'll bump our hips toward the back of the mat. Gaze to the front hand. Breathe in. As you're ready, exhale, reach, reach, reach. till you can't reach any further without moving the hips, and then just bow to the front leg, top arm stacks, open the chest, don't lean out, don't hang on the leg. We're gonna lift the posture with the top arm and the side body. Extend through both sides. Breathe. Again, the head is whatever position is comfortable for you. Just don't drop the neck or the head. Breathe. Awesome. Breathe in as you exhale. Take that top arm all the way behind you in a big circle. Turn your torso over the front leg and bend the front knee. Plant the hands down. And then we'll just rock forward, step up, forward bend, fold here. Maybe shake out the head. And then we're gonna slowly roll up. Tuck your tailbone. Unfurl yourself. Open your shoulders. Coming back to your mountain pose. I'm gonna come to the center of the mat. Take a nice deep breath in. Nice hip distance for the feet. Let's inhale, sweep the arms up. One more stretch here through the side body. Stretching out long. Inhale through center, switch the grass, reach up and over. Inhale up, exhale, lower the arms by the side. Let's shrug the shoulders here, open the chest. Coming back to your mountain pose. Then we're gonna do our balance pose. So we're gonna do the tree today. It's like that for a beginner balance too. So you wanna, it's nice to envision, I find like mental or visual cues helpful. So that might be helpful for you, it might not. From the sole and the arch of my foot, I envision roots going into the core of the earth. I think that's a helpful visual for balance. You're welcome to stand near a wall or a chair if you need a little extra support. So one thing we want to be sure of in a balance is that we don't hold the breath, and we also don't ever want to lock the joints. So we don't want to hyperextend the knee joint. So a micro bend in the knee is a good idea. So I'm going to start on this leg. So I'm going to shift my weight to this leg, and I'm going to make sure I've got that little bend in the joint so I'm not locking. And then for balance, it's super helpful also to fix the gaze anywhere on the floor that's not going to move. So don't look at a shadow, but pick like a spot on the floor, or notch in the carpet or something like that. And the gaze should be kind of long and out in front of you. And then shifting the weight. When you feel ready, you're going to take the other foot either to the ankle. You can have the toe down for a little stability if you're just new to balance, or you can use the calf, so the foot is off the floor, or you can use the thigh. You don't want to use the knee because we don't ever want to push the knee out to the side. So you can come all the way up if that's comfortable. Another key here is to feel the leg and the foot pushing into the midline. So you want to feel a little resistance in both directions, and that will help provide some lift in your balance. This knee is out to the side, and then you can take the hands to the heart in prayer pose. And then when you feel steady, stretch your arms up. Or you can have them out to the side, anywhere you want. Your branches, keep the shoulders soft. Keep the gaze soft and the breath nice and long. And if you fall out, don't worry about it. You can always try again. I find every day is very different for balance for everybody. So, especially if you're talking bench. So don't stress it. It's just a practice. It doesn't have to be perfect. Even from the teacher, right? So one more breath. And let's take the hands down to the chest and release the foot and then shake it out. So then we'll switch sides, and then however that side went, just forget about it. Just be in this moment, right? So we're gonna shift the weight to the other leg now. I'm gonna micro bend the knee joint, fix my gaze. As I feel steady, use the ankle again, the calf or the thigh. Feel that intention toward the midline as you bring your hands to your heart. And then whenever you feel ready, you'll stretch your arms up, soft shoulders, soft face. Find your breath, nice and smooth with the breath. One more breath. Slowly we'll lower the hands to the heart, releasing the foot, and shake it out. So let's come down to the floor. I'm going to come down through a squat. So this is a little bit, if you're new to the practice, this might be a lot for you, so don't worry about it. If it doesn't work, you can always skip it. You can also use, I'll show you guys how to do this. You can use a blanket or a roll for underneath your heels, like this, so you can kind of bring your feet here and then squat. If you find it challenging to have the feet flat, that's a nice prop if it works for you. I like to have my feet flat. So we're going to have the hands, elbows inside of the thighs. And then again, thumbs to sternum. I'm going to drop my hips and I'm going to kind of pull my knees into the arms as I press my arms out. And that's going to help me create length in the spine. Breathe. So using a prop if you need. And again, if this is too much, you don't have to do it. You can play with it or try whatever you want. You can do like a less deep squat if you want to come up. Good, and then one hand at a time will come behind us for support as we come down to the floor. We're going to extend the legs out. So I'm going to bend my leg and I'm going to squeeze it in. I'm going to try to close the space behind my knee. My other leg is extended, and then I'm going to open this leg out. So this inner foot comes to the inner thigh, say open out. And again, you can use a prop here if you need to sit up tall. So extending the leg, and I'm shifting my torso toward my extended leg. I'm going to inhale, reach up, big breath in, exhale, stretch over that leg. You don't have to reach the foot. And breathe. So you're going to allow the forehead to bow toward the knee here. Shoulders should be soft. Your face is soft. Take a couple breaths here. The foot is nice and flexed. You may not get far, and that's okay. Just listen to your body. Go wherever is comfortable, where you can breathe. Walk your hands back as you inhale. Come up slowly. We're going to take the opposite arm to the leg that's extended behind you. I'm going to place it kind of under your shoulder. You're going to reach the same arm that the leg is extended out to the side and open the chest here. Just breathe in. And as you exhale, we're going to come up, plant that extended foot and come up onto the bent knee and reach up and over. So nice full body stretch. This should feel really nice. Just expanding everything as far apart as you can. Breathe. And then slowly trace a line as you come down nice and smoothly. Good. And then extend both legs. And then we'll bend the other leg in. So switching sides, squeeze the knee in, extend that bottom leg, flex the foot, open the knee out so you plant the inside of the foot into the thigh, aiming the torso over the extended leg. Let's inhale, sweep the arms up, big breath in. Exhale, fold. Again, rounding the forehead toward the knee. Finding your breath. Soften the shoulders, soften the brow. If you feel like you're furrowing your brow in the practice, it's not a good sign. We want to keep it nice and soft. Another breath here. Nice and slow, walk your hands back as you come up. Again, opposite hand from the leg will come behind you. Same arm as the leg extended will reach out, open your chest. Deep breath in. As you exhale, plant that extended leg, come onto the knee and reach up and over. Again, don't drop the head, keep the neck and the spine together. Let's see if you can make a nice smooth transition as you release out of the pose. Awesome. So extending your legs out in front of you now. Let's bend the knees here, or bend the feet. Bring the soles of the feet together. And I'll face you guys so you can see in a butterfly pose. And maybe you hold around the feet, soles of the feet together, and then lift up out of the spine. So opening the knees out, lifting through the sternum. I find this is a nice way to get a little traction for the neck and shoulders, maybe. You can also use a towel if it's difficult to reach your feet. You don't have to. You can use a prop or a towel here too. So there's always modifications to be made for every body type, so don't feel like there's nothing you can't do in yoga if you've got a few props at the house. So I encourage you to use those and find ways to make the postures work for you. Good. And then we're going to release the feet, stretch the legs back out, lift the flesh away from the sitting bones. And we're going to come down to the back. So there's lots of options. You can just come down to your back however you want. If you want to challenge yourself, you can flex the feet and unfurl one vertebra at a time, nice and slowly. Keep the heels glued to the floor. And I have to go to the side just a touch today because I have a little bruise on my back. But challenging your core on the way down might be something to try or not. Totally up to you. So once you get to your back, I want you to just take a nice deep breath in and out. Just release any tension with your out breath. Good, and then we're going to draw one leg into the chest. So squeeze the knee in. It's nice in these actually to start with the right leg based on our digestive system. So the ascending colon is on the right, and we have the transverse colon across the belly, and then down on the left is the descending colon. So it is nice to start with the right leg in the stretch. Squeezing the knee into the chest. Make sure your neck is neutral on the floor, your shoulders are soft. You shouldn't feel like the neck is crunched like this. If it's tight, then you just place a little something under your head so that it can be in a neutral position. Good, breathe in. And as you exhale, you're going to take this bent leg across the body in a nice, easy twist. So bring it across. And then extend the opposite arm out. Soften the shoulder. You can gaze to the extended arm if you're comfortable. Breathe into your belly and your twist. Good, nice and slowly we'll come back to center. Let's squeeze that knee in one more time. Good, and send the leg out. Just take a moment to observe a difference between the sides. And then we'll draw the left knee into the chest. Squeeze the knee in. Shoulders are soft, face is soft. Breathe into your belly here. Breathe in. As you exhale, pull the bent leg across the body. Extend the opposite arm out, palm down. See if you can soften that shoulder blade toward the floor. Maybe you gaze toward the extended arm. And then breathe deeply into your belly. Keep softening with each out breath. Slowly release back to center. Squeeze that knee into the chest again one more time. Breath in and exhale as you release the leg out. Good. So let's do one more thing before we relax. We're going to bend the knees to place our feet on the floor. I want your knees about hip width apart, and the feet should be parallel. So you might take a look to make sure your feet are parallel. So you don't want the feet pointing out to the side. So they're nice and parallel, knees parallel. So we want to track the knees and the toes so we're not twerking anything. Take your palms down on the floor as close to your heels as you can get them so that you can move the shoulders away from the ears. Palms down, feet planted, nice and parallel. The neck is long and we don't want to lift the chin. Again, make sure the neck is long. When we come up for the bridge, we're bringing the chest to the chin, not the chin to the chest. So don't flatten the neck out like that. Should be nice and neutral. You've got a curve in the back of the neck here that should move away from the floor if you don't have any pathology. So here we are. Your gaze is straight up. We're going to inhale as we just peel the back up. Just a nice, easy pelvic tilt lift up. Again, the chest comes to the chin, not the chin to the chest. Exhale, come down. Nice and slow, one vertebra at a time. So again, the knees are parallel. It's nice if you have a block handy, you can hold a block between the knees to keep the intention there. That's optional. And try not to turn your head when you come up in the pose. You don't want to look at the screen. Keep the head up, straight up with the gaze. Let's come up again one more time. Inhale, peel up. And then I want you to tuck your shoulder blades down a little further maybe. Press the hips up, and I want you to really breathe into your belly. Expand the belly here. Take a nice deep breath in again. And as you exhale, slowly lower down. One vertebra at a time. Excellent. Draw both knees into your chest. Give yourself a little squeeze and make some circles on your back. So just massaging your back. Reverse your circles. Nice deep breaths. And then slowly lower the feet to the floor. So you can take your feet hip width apart or mat width apart and let the knees come to the midline. If you have any tension in the back body at all, that's a nice way to release the back. Or you can stretch the legs out if your back feels good. Take your feet at least a mat width apart. So we're just letting the legs flop out to the side. We're going to tuck our shoulders under our chest to open the heart. Allow the palms to face the sky. Allow the fingers to curl toward the hand as they relax. Rock your head a little side to side, nice and easy. And then bring your head back to center. Again, make sure the neck is neutral. You're not crunching, using props if you need. Closing your eyes. Parting your lips slightly to relax through the jaw. I'm going to sit up, but you guys are going to stay on your back as I guide you through relaxation. So letting go of any tension in the body, just relax your entire body. So we'll just be here for a minute or two. And I encourage you to see if you can find a place of stillness so you don't want to fidget. Just relax. Notice if there's anywhere in the body that you have tension. If you find any tension, I want you to surround it with your breath as you inhale, bringing fresh oxygen to the tissues. And using your exhale just to melt the tension into the earth. Let it go into the mat. Just relax. And keep doing that. Keep letting go. Breathe in and relax as you let go. Relax your entire body completely. Just allowing any sounds in the room to wash over you as you just keep letting go. Relax, relax, relax. So I find this last position, this resting position of Savasana, to be the most important position that we practice in yoga. You know, a lot of times we want to just finish up and get on with the day, but this is the way we sort of assimilate all the postures that you took. So it allows your body to incorporate that energy. And it's so important to give yourself time to just relax after the practice, even if it's just for a minute or two. You can stay longer. I encourage you to do that. It's a nice way to reset and restore the body. Just slowly wiggle your fingers and your toes to bring awareness back to the physical body. Maybe rock your head a little side to side again. And as you're ready, you're going to bend your knees if they're not there, to place your feet on the floor and roll to the right side of your body for a moment. So we roll to the right side of the body to allow the heart to fill with blood. It sits a little bit to the left in the chest for most of us. So that gives it a chance to sort of refill so we don't sit up too quickly. Lets the blood flow catch up with the posture. And as you're ready, slowly use your left hand to push yourself back to a seated posture, using your prop to sit on if you need. Coming into easy pose. And once there, we'll take one more big breath in together. As we inhale, we'll sweep the arms up. Big breath in. Seal your hands at the top and lower them down to your heart. And bow to yourself with gratitude for practicing today. And we'll bow to each other. Namaste.